Alright, so I'm just in the middle of fleshing out my first bear, and it's been quite a process here. This is the second salting about to go on. So I did a first salting, okay, after I first fleshed it out, paws, everything like that. So I'll just show you. So claws are attached, okay, salted away in there, okay. So I had to bone the whole thing and did the flap here, okay. So I cut out the bottom side, flipped it over, and took out the paws. All right. Turn the ears, stuff the ear cavities full of salt. All right. And now I'm just in the process of continuing to flesh. Split the eyes, turn the ears like I said, did the nose. It's pretty clean. I got a little bit more to do with the tail. Just a little bit, not too much. It's been an interesting process. Never fleshed or taxidermied a bear before, so this has been an interesting process. Coyotes out of the yin yang, no problem. But this is a lot different. Skin is really, really thin. You got to flesh it right down to as far as the blue as you can think you can go. Some spots I didn't dare go past into the blue. The back, right down the middle here. No pun intended. It's a bear. Yeah. Anyways, it's really tough down here, all the way through the neck. Really dense fat. And I did it with this dude. I got a fleshing beam, fleshing knife. I even have a draw knife that's super sharp, but I wouldn't have dared taking this bear on that fleshing beam at all. I just sat in a chair, put it over my knee, and fleshed it with that dude, that knife right there. And you gotta have one of these. You gotta have a razor blade. So the razor blade came in handy with the ears, okay? And the paws. Gotta have it. If you don't have one of these, you're gonna be spending a ton of time needlessly, and you won't get everything that you need to get. You're going to be splitting the fur. I've already probably poked about a dozen holes through this dude. This is my first time fleshing a bear. I shot this guy a year ago. My video was probably one of my first videos I did about a year ago. I had to put him in the freezer. My garage was all taken up full of furniture because our basement flooded. So everything had to come in here. And until we got everything renovated, the garage was indisposed. So I couldn't even come back in here. And so he's been in the freezer, full of fat and dirtiness ever since last May. And finally, I had a week off. I said to myself, you know what, let's just get this dude done. It'll be interesting because I'm just going to be doing my coyote pickling on this dude and the tanning process. And I think this guy's going to take it no problem. Like the bear skin is way thinner than a coyote. You know, coyote 3-4 days. I'll do this guy 3-4 days for sure, because as soon as I put him in the pickling solution, he's going to raise the pH level automatically. All right, because all the fur and everything that is about him, right? Yeah, obviously I'll be putting him in more of a solution than the coyote, but he's going to be absorbing a lot and excreting a lot of water. Okay, so I'm going to salt this dude up tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to be pickling him with my daughter. All right, so I'll take you through that process. And granted, disclaimer, this is my first time doing a bear. All right, so you know what? I don't blame you for not doing this. Give it a year, maybe. You know, then come back to me. Hey, Sask Hunting, did this work out? I'll say yay or nay, right? My coyotes have worked out great. And I've never fleshed out my coyotes as good as this bear. I'll tell you that much, right? You want to get this guy to the blue. And as you can see over here, majority of this dude is to the blue, right? So I probably could have did a better job fleshing. I have no fleshing wheel or anything like that. That'd be fantastic to have if I had an extra $1,000. I'd love to have a fleshing wheel. Maybe that's the next purchase. I don't know. Yeah, let's see how my wife likes that one. But so yeah, no, this is my first time doing a bear. Take it or leave it, whatever you want to do. And you know what? Any helpful hints you guys have, fantastic. You know, I'll take it. I didn't bother taking you guys through the whole fleshing and deboning the paws. Probably should have actually. My next bear, I'll be taking you through the process. But anyways, we're going to go through a tanning process right now. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. All right, so we're just getting ready to pickle this bear. All right, so we're adding 24 liters of vinegar. So go ahead, bud, start pouring. All right, so we got 24 liters of 5% vinegar. Okay, and then we're going to be, after we pour the vinegar in there, we're going to add equal parts water. Okay, just straight tap water. And then for every jug of vinegar, which is 4 liters, we're going to be adding 2 pounds of salt to this mix. We're going to stir it up, add the bear, and then we're going to let it sit for 3 days. All right, now we're adding the water to the solution here. So equal parts water to vinegar. Okay, so we're adding 24 liters of vinegar to 24 liters of water to 12 pounds of salt. We've added the salt, so we're not going to be stirring it up right now. So in total we have 24 liters of vinegar, 24 liters of water, and we have 12 pounds of salt. So we added the last one in just now, and Abigail's going to give it a quick stir here, bud. And we're going to stir it until the salt dissolves. All right, good work, buddy. And the salt that we're using today, we're just going to be in industrial salt. So any agriculture feed store or anything like that will have this. 44 pounds, I think it cost me like $9. So it's way more cost effective than the alternative, that's for sure. All right, and then the vinegar is just regular, pure white vinegar. All right, so you can see right there, if it comes into focus, it's 5% acid on this dude. Okay, and that's the vinegar. All right, so we're just going to put the bear into the bath now. All right, and now we're just going to soak him in there real good. All right, we'll get them all in there nice and good here. All right, I'm just going to make sure all the areas are evenly distributed throughout the bath. And get them submerged here. There's quite a bit of vinegar in here, so that's okay. You'll be good. And then we'll take these vinegar bottles and we'll weight them down with the vinegar bottles. Here, let's hold it. Pass them to Dad. Thanks, buddy. We'll clear off the bottoms if there's any dirt on them. Okay, you got her. And one more. Yeah, and there we go. So any areas that are not submerged, we'll add a bottle. You should probably add another bottle here, buddy.
Yeah.
Here.
I'll go fill
You want to fill that one up? So that's that. And then we're going to be stirring this a few times a day, making sure nothing's exposed. Right, because there's probably some areas that say are folding onto each other and not getting as much of the vinegar solution. But I think this will do the trick quite nicely here. Looks like there's quite a bit of a clearance for the vinegar, so I don't think I need any more vinegar. Or any air pockets that might be in here too will hinder the pickle as well, right? So overall, the hide's pretty good. Nice and blue. There's some little areas right over there. There's a little bit of fleshing. I'll have to flesh it again afterwards a little bit better in some little areas. Like there's little spots, but generally speaking, that's really good. Make sure all the claws, right, have the vinegar solution in there as well. Vinegar and salt solution. And we'll do this for about 3 days. And we'll check it out and see how it goes. All right. All right, so I've pulled a bear out of the pickle. Now I'm just going to add them to 24 ounces of baking soda and water. I'm just giving it a quick stir. Get them fully incorporated in here. We just gotta neutralize that acid. Yeah, keep on stirring. And we're gonna let them soak here for about 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna throw about a half a cup of bleach. All right, give it a quick stir. All right, this is about 45 liters of water. Give it a quick stir before you add the bear in it, obviously. And then where's my helpful assistant? Alright, so this should probably do it. You want to stir that up while I grab the bear out of the other bin?
Yep.
Thanks, buddy. Alright, we'll just drain this bear off a little bit, add it into here. The bear's been soaking for about 20 minutes in the baking soda solution. Now we're just going to give it a quick rinse in the bleach water. Just to kill any bacteria or cooties it may have. And that water's cold, holy smokes. I'm only going to soak it in here for probably 10 minutes. I don't want any slippage from the bleach or anything like that. But I still want to kill all the bacteria. The bear's been soaking for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to yank him out of the bleach solution. Let him drain for a second. Smells a lot better. And into the soap. So we're using Dawn. Give him a good dousing. This will be the last wash of him, so being a bear, he's pretty greasy still. You can kind of see almost like a film on this water even. So we're going to give him another Dawn in here. Rinse off the bleach. Give him a good soaping. A little bit more maybe. Can't hurt. Alright. So I'm just going to agitate him for a few minutes here. And then I'm going to let him soak for about 10 minutes. And then I'll give him a couple rinses, alright? Alright, so we got this guy soaking in the soap. Just pulling him out. I'm going to put him in the rinse. Just letting the water drain as much as we can here. Alright. And throw him in the first rinse. Alright, so I'm going to probably rinse him 2 or 3 times just to make sure all the soap's out of him. Let him soak here for a minute or two. And then we'll come back for the next one. Alright, so I did my final rinsing on the bear. Now what I have here is a cup of water. Okay, so you can see it's separated here. I'll push it to where I can actually see it. So we have a cup of water, a cup of neat's feet oil, okay, and 1 tablespoon of Dawn. Gonna stir it all up. Ah, that's the sound we love to hear. Okay, so right now as you mix oil and water, obviously that's not going to mix, right? So putting the Dawn creates a permanent emulsion. See, now you can see it starting to whiten up here. Oh, it's a good old soapy emulsion. Hopefully you can see this. Awesome, there you go. All right, so I'm just applying the first layer. Right now this is still warm. Getting in the paws, pads, all over. Just spreading her in there thick. You can see the nice layer that's going over top of it. And make sure you get the claws. Right in there. Pads especially. These pads will harden right up. Okay, because you're wanting to sew those dudes back together again here. So I'm going to do both sides. And the pads here. So I'm going to cover this whole bear. Alright. And then I'm going to fold it onto the table. And I'll take you back to there. My brother-in-law is laughing at me right now. So I finished oiling up the bear and I flipped him skin side down, all right, because I wanted the fur to dry, all right. So I want to make sure that the air doesn't get at this bear, okay, overnight. So I'm gonna let this soak overnight. This way, the hair on the bear gets to dry, plus the skin gets to absorb all of the oil, okay. So I'm gonna let this sit overnight, and then when I come out in the morning, I'm going to flip this dude over, okay? I'm going to let him sit for a few hours and see what dries first. Whatever skin dries first, I stretch, okay? So don't stretch skin that is not dry yet, okay? Because you're going to be toughening that skin up, okay? So whatever skin dries first, you want to stretch first. So it's going to be stretching for the next probably 24 hours. So you're going to be getting back to it. You're going to be given the 3-hour break. You're going to stretch it, 3-hour break. You're going to stretch it, go fish, go do whatever you want, all right? I'll get back to you tomorrow. All right, so I'm just in the process of working the hide now. So I'm just going to break this hide of all the fibers, right? So it's been drying for about a couple days now. I've been working the hide, meaning just taking the hide and just working it like this. As you do this, as the hide dries, you'll see dry spots that you're able to work, right? And you're going to be seeing spots that aren't dry, so you don't work those spots. How you can tell that is if you're working and pulling the hide, those fibers will break and they'll turn white, okay? So you'll be kind of pulling, and then you'll kind of find a little blotch over here, say over here, let's say. This one's already been done, the skull. I had to get the head done as quickly as possible because this thing dries up quick. You'll have a spot that isn't dry, and then you just kind of avoid that spot because as soon as you kind of put some pressure on it, it's not giving way to the white, right? It's not, those fibers aren't breaking, okay? Put the fan on, go to work, come back and just work it like I've been. So I'd go to work all day, then I started working the hide when I got home, okay? So I just keep on breaking it like this. You can stretch it, right? Or like this, or you can take it on a fleshing beam. I have one in the corner here. Just tilt the camera up a little bit. You can see there's a fleshing beam right at the end here. You can use that. But I found the best for this hide is just breaking it with your hands, right? Break around the nose area. Don't get too crazy and aggressive, right? Because it's so easy to break this nose, okay? So I just kind of like fold it a little bit. Maybe work it over here a little bit. You know, pull sideways gently, not too crazy, because you don't want the lips to start cracking. And the eyes are pretty sturdy, so I'm not too concerned about them. And just working right over here, the ear cartilage, right? Because I'm going to be pulling these ears right side out here. So you want this to be worked, this cartilage to be worked, all right? And the skin on the ears itself, right? So because I'll be pushing down and pulling, right? So this has to be fairly flexible so that I'm able to do that, okay? We'll go through that a little bit later here. So I found that the legs were no problem to break and dry. So all that was done, but then you find little spots where maybe you haven't trimmed the fat, so to speak, effectively enough. So there was a little bit of high spots on fat. So you find yourself you have to trim as well as you go, right? Because you want like 95% of that fat gone. All right, and then you can see the paws. Okay, these are the front paws. And then I just kind of put a paper clip in there just to keep it open, right? Because all of a sudden you come back, it's closed, it's not drying effectively, right? So that's all dry in there. And then you'll also want to, when it's still a pliable state, that's why you got to kind of stay on this dude, right? You want to make sure that these are pliable, because these claws will want to curl up on you, right? So they'll want to curl up, and it just doesn't look presentable enough, right? So you want to just take these claws when it's still pliable to hide, right? So if this is bone dry, you'd be cracking skin, so you wouldn't want to do it then, right? So you want to do this when it's still pliable. So stretch gently between the claws, right? Because that's just like breaking any of the other parts of the hide, right? Because you got to be taking this, and you're going to be stretching it, right? Then you're going to be taking it, and you're going to be rubbing it together. That's a great way of breaking that hide, right? Just kind of go on the sides, even on the corners here, and just go like that. It's a long process. It's like a day's process here. Unless I had a wife that wanted to gum my fur for me. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Everybody's wives would just come in here and soften up this hide, just like the old days, I guess, right? Maybe I should suggest that to my wife. Maybe she'll be into that. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, and take these and kind of like stretch them. Like just grab all your fingers in there, right? If you can get that. Okay, just like that. And just kind of stretch it. Don't go too crazy, man, because you don't want to be splitting all the way down here and all of a sudden you have like two separate areas. But you just kind of stretch it. Just kind of stretch it and break it, right? And pushing down. And you press down with the claws as well, right? Because these want to curl up and it just doesn't look right. You can even see that this one's starting to want to curl up a little bit. Let's see if you can see that a little bit. Let's see if my camera's working here properly. I can't even see this. So yeah, this one's starting to curl up, I see, right? So I want to just pull it down, and all the way on. Okay, and just kind of, what I've also been doing is going like this, holding this down, and just giving it a stretch, right? Then all this breaks as well in there, right? So kind of hold down, and I'm sure all you taxidermists are just cringing right now, but this is my first bear, and this seems like the most logical thing to do. All right, and pull, and then break, and just keep on going all the way along the hide that way. And you'll find there's oily spots, right? And you're like, oh man, why is it so oily? Look at the fat. Just making sure there's no fat. Take a little pocket knife, take anything that you need just to get and just trim that fat away. All right, so every little bit of fat needs to go. But overall, I'm pretty happy. It's drying out nicely. And then I'd also flip the hide over, right? Because if that hair is damp, okay, so I'd flip the hide over and I'd let it air out, okay? So I just let it air out as well, right? So far so good. I'm pretty happy with it, that's for sure. Like the hide right now is, the hair goes just past my knuckles, right? So he is thick. And there's no slippage. There isn't any hair loss whatsoever, so I'm pretty stoked about this whole situation right now. So now, even on the other side, okay, and this guy over here, just work it, right? Pull, like just pull and work it. And right now, he smells good. Like there's no smell coming off him whatsoever. And that's why I've been, every chance I get, I've been trying to air out the fur as well, right? The fur, it smells good. That bleaching really helped. Yeah, there's no smell to the fur whatsoever, so it's really nice. You know, of course, you're gonna get a little bit of that neat's feet oil. But other than that, that's not that bad. I can barely smell that at all. So it's really, really clean, so I'm happy. So before you wanna turn your ear right side out again, so it'll be first side out, you wanna make sure that you work this ear, all this cartilage. Okay, you wanna make sure that all this cartilage is flexible, right? The skin part's tan, stretched, it's broken, right? It's nice and pliable, okay? But this ear cartilage isn't. So you want to get that worked in there. Because when you push it, it's going to be going through here this way. Okay? You see how it's bending right here? Okay? It's going to have to bend like that all the way down. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just working that cartilage. You don't want to work it too much so you start cracking it. Alright, once we got the cartilage all pliable, okay, all loose, more or less. It's still a little stiff, but I'm not going to do it all the way, right? I don't want to start cracking or anything like that, right? So we got it all loose. So I'm going to just push this ear through. Okay. I'm going to push it through. Alright, so I got the top tip of the ear poking through now. Now I'm just going to continue to work at it slowly, okay? I don't want to rush this one. It's still a little stiff at the bottom there, but I'm just kind of just working it slow. Giving it a little pull. Not too hard, I don't want to rip any hairs out or anything like that. Just work it. Hopefully it's coming out on video here. This ear probably could have been worked a little bit more. So I'm just going to work this guy a little bit more. See, there's a little crease right there. I don't want to go too far and split this crease. Then it'll make the ear all flimsy. Alright, I got most of the ear almost done. So now I'm just going to pull the rest of it through here. And there it is. One turned ear. And I'll leave this flap open, right, just so air can get at it for now and continue the drying process. This is dry. This is like hard. I didn't want to turn this ear and have it a little bit moist or anything like that. So, you know, I'm sure there's a little bit of moisture in there. That's why I'm just going to leave it like that for a bit. But I wanted to get this ear turned before it totally dries hard. Then there'd be no hope. I'd have to moisturize it and do it all over again. Alright, so this is the finished ear I was showing you before. It's all flipped first side out. Okay. And I push this guy through the hole. So the hole that you do push it through, see my finger? So you basically take the tip of your ear and stuff it through that hole. And I got about 2 fingers width right here, so it's going to take some massaging. So I'm just going to take it, grab it with those 2 fingers, and just kind of push it in as best I can here, and I'll meet you at the other end. Alright, as you can see, I almost got the ear through, and so I pull it as far as I can with my hands, okay, where the tip of the ear is on the inside. Okay, so I got my hand in here. I pull it as far as I can. And then you just push the rest of the way without damaging any of the cartilage or the skin. And there you go, pushed all the way through. Okay. Now I'm going to flip the head right side out. Okay, just flipping the head right side out as best I can, without wrecking anything. Hopefully this is coming out here. No idea what you guys are seeing right now. And the lips, turn the lips, reposition the ears as best you can. The biggest thing I was hoping I wouldn't bugger up is the ears. He looks pretty sad. Jeez. Just reposition it. It's almost pliable, that cartilage. So it's almost, you can reposition it into whatever form or fashion you really want to do here. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these ears. Now I'm just going to let this dude dry out as much as I can. Might put some borax in the middle of these ears. We'll see. And those are the ears. All right, so this is pretty much the finished product of the tanning of the bear. And yeah, next time I do a bear, my brother-in-law wants to get his bear, and I'll show you all the deboning of the paws, okay, skull, ears, turning of the lips, nose, everything like that, okay, and the eyes as well. Now once the hair was dry, just kind of a rough comb through, okay, making sure that any little burrs are taken out. Now this comb, you can find at any Peavey Mart, tack shop, any kind of agriculture store, okay? You'll find one of these, right? Combing horses or whatever the case, right? Usually I use it for cattle. So you just run the comb through, okay? And if you feel a snag, don't just go and yank it. Just kind of gently kind of tug until it's actually dislodged. Now if it doesn't want to dislodge, actually get right into the hide and pick whatever is actually tangled out of there, okay? Because you'll notice that this being a spring bear, you're going to have a little bit of underfur, okay? This is what keeps the bear warm, okay? So this stuff is going to come out a little bit. This is not slippage, right? Slippage would be if I grabbed onto these hairs, these black hairs, and it came out, okay? This is just what keeps the bear warm in the winter, okay? So I don't want all this to go. It's not the end of the world probably, but it'd be just like the bear shedding, okay? So you're just going to want to gently comb through this. Don't yank. You want to keep the thickness and the density. Now also, if you want to like fluff it up, just give it a whip, okay? So I'm going to be trying to turn this into a rug, so I'm going to have to be getting a skull, okay? Just the fake skull that goes in there with the mouth open. And I'll be taking you through that on some other future video. And then I'm going to have the felt all the way around it, sew it on there, and we'll go through that. With this tan, it seems like it's holding really well. The test of time will be the judge, but I can't see this slipping or rotting or anything. The biggest thing is keep this bear in an environment like under 50% humidity. Right now I have this in the basement, but I have a dehumidifier. Keep it away from moss, bugs, any creepy crawlies, and just take care of it, right? Vacuum it. You know, if you see something odd happening to it, rectify the situation, right? Do something about it. Biggest thing is going to be humidity. All right. Any helpful hints for the first time taxidermist like myself here for a bear? You know what? Chime up. Okay. But remember, you know what? I'm not trying to replace a taxidermist. After doing this job, I was thinking to myself, so they want $400 or $500 to tan this bear and then another $1,000 to rug it. You know what? It's worth every penny. I have total respect for what they do. And you know what? $1,500 to make this into a rug is a deal. For the amount of time I put into this bear, you know what? I could have just went to work. So anyways, thanks for watching. When I get to the bear rug, I'll post a video up. All right, take care.
Like if it's raining out and you want to dress naked and you want to put that bear skin on your head and go outside and dance around with your jingleberries out, you just go right ahead. Because this bear will take it.